See the deer? Yep. There's the deer. Welcome to episode 34 of Randall Vision. I'm your host, Randall. I don't know. The working title is called Show's Over for 34 here. We'll start with some postscript from the last episode. A couple of mental notes or better ways of explaining what I went through there. And also too, unfortunately, today's video is just a bunch of reading that I don't trust myself talking so much. So I wrote some things down. I'm just going to go over them quickly here. The aesthetic I've been striving for is being viewed as credible, or at the very least interesting, by the types of folks whom I would benefit from associating with. And conversely, I would like to appear either as easily dismissed or perhaps invisible to those whom I would not benefit from associating with. So that kind of explains the contradictory nature of the delivery of my information, the building of my character. It's kind of all over the place, but that's the gimmick behind it, I suppose. Now, this is important. The bootstrapping was a real important topic in the last episode, and I did a really poor job of explaining it. So here's another way of explaining it. The bootstrapping can be explained better. We are collector, selector, reflector. We are hardware running software that is reacting to data. So who's programming us? The world. And much is out of necessity, perhaps all. But we are like an open loop. Do you ever stop, listen to yourself, and thus close the loop? Thinking, reflecting, meditating, these acts alone don't close the loop. Maybe they can, but it's not what I am talking about. Reading what you wrote, watching what you recorded, that is what has closed the loop. That is the bootstrapping. So, we just take it in from outside and take it in from outside and take it in from outside. I made myself the outside. And Randall Vision isn't that's just my latest iteration of it, that I journaled for a long time and would review them and reference them. Still do that. And now with the video on top, externalizing myself or Randall and then letting Randall program me. That's the bootstrapping. And so I don't think other people, the only value that I think can be gotten is viewing mine as a how-to. It's not what I'm saying, because I'm talking to me the whole time. So if other people were to do this, them talking to themselves the whole time is, I think, the thing that I'm recommending or suggesting, and that's how I did it. That's not how other people may or may not do it. And I don't think I was revolutionary in creating these concepts. I think I just kind of went to the world with a wild approach, and eventually it narrowed down into something. And this is the something that it narrowed down into after, evaluating results or it's been a experiment. And I think that's one of the key elements to success in the way that I've performed the experiment. So on with today's episode 34, show's over. What direction? That question has begun to lose meaning. I got there. There is nowhere else to go. Here and now are perfect. Looking back, it seems that it might have always been that way. This perfection comes at a cost. It is overwhelming. Simple thoughts move me to tears. Full-blown weeping upon being grateful for a triviality that is frequently taken for granted. The gravity of this majesty is maddening. It feels utterly reckless to leave these videos up, as if I am trying to lure others into a cosmic trap of sorts. I suspect most people wouldn't want to see the world the way I do. The acknowledgement of perfection has impacted my thought and behavior in challenging ways. Thinking about the future causes me significant distress. I can still recall the past, but getting lost there is increasingly unpleasant. Existence as it takes place is a miracle. That only happens now. It is always now. I think we become accustomed to defending or protecting ourselves against an other. That happens all day, every day, even just at a minute subconscious level. But taking that other away wreaks havoc on the system. The apparatus that scans for danger finds none. And the results are a full-blown code red freakout. The trigger for that is when I'm looking for a way out. The remedy is being calm, cool, collected, and fully present in the current moment. It's like the metaphysical tightrope is real. Even glancing back at the last several years, it's astonishing how prosperous I've been while making what feels to be the bare minimum of effort. Instead of building a life, I let mine unfold. The beauty of this unfolding far exceeds any conceivable results which could have been achieved through planning. Once again, it is a double-edged sword. Existing and experiencing has reached an enraptured, blissful state that I wouldn't trade for anything. The price to be paid is significant. A terror of facing or reconciling the future, or a need to abandon it. Knowing the future would remove one of the fundamental elements that make us human and what makes life worth living. Let's see if I can say that again better. Knowing the future would remove one of the fundamental elements that make us human and what makes life worth living. The mysterious nature of the future provides intriguing bait to keep us in motion, but it's not real. We never get there. It is always now. So enjoying now is as good as it gets. Did that work for you? No? If you are still troubled, let go of wanting things or the world to be a different way, even if just for a moment. There. You have arrived, content in this moment. Good luck on the rest of your journeys. yeah, then I started to get weird with it, so I read a little more. Anyhow, each day is its own kind of lifetime. Birth and death, the cycle continues. So, I don't know. I don't know. I don't. I've talked about wanting to take this in the direction of telling stories about things I've done and lessons I've learned, times I've messed up, and all that. And at the moment, it feels disingenuous to go that direction. And whenever I tried to express that, those are the words that came out. That things are weird. Things are very weird, and I don't want to turn these videos into like the diary of a teenager. A buddy of mine cautioned me. He's like, yeah, you don't want to do that. And I agree. So instead of trying to articulate things that I can't articulate, taking that moment to kind of put them down and crystallize it instead of just rambling about it seemed like the right way to go. I don't know what future episodes are going to look like. As the title shows over would imply, that like if I think I did the thing already, why do I keep going? And it's because we're still here. We're like, so I don't know, like I'm still coming to terms with and integrating a lot of stuff. So it's interesting to look back on these and see how each one's kind of like a little fragment of that taking place, or a little push in the right direction. And I don't know, like I haven't seen any indication to give up, but it's been weird trying to move forward. So one last thing to make this spicy. I didn't cry yet, so I have a note to tell the conversation with God story. Now, I've told this one a couple times in the last year to people, and whenever, like in person, and people I know. And whenever I try to say part of it, I get real choked up because it's like heavy, and I'm not sure if this is even my story. I'm not sure if I took it from somewhere, but I remember it as if it happened to me, but I can't place where or when that would have been. So it's quite possible that I'm misremembering this as even my story. And this story involves praying to God. So one of the things, the word God, I've mentioned, I don't like that. I think the Jewish "he who could not be named" is kind of more appropriate. Not even. There's lots of different words. Take them, put them all together. Also, a new definition I found for God, or like another thing to try to explain it, is the word imagination. That thinking of God as a thing like I'm pretty sure it transcends all of our language. Like it's not an object or a verb or a, like we're not equipped to discuss it. So that's why there's like hundreds or thousands of traditions spanning over thousands or tens of thousands of years trying to explain it. Anyhow, so one time I was praying to God, more of like the Catholic or Christian conversation with God, usually when you're pleading for something or want some answers. And I asked, God, what am I supposed to do? And God answered. It said, live one good day. And I had the nerve to ask the follow-up, and then what? God answered again. Do it again. And it didn't communicate with words. Those words are probably fairly accurate, but there was also a vision that was included with this. And when I have visions, it's weird because I think I mentioned I have aphantasia or whatever it's called. I can't make pictures in my head, but it was like a figure, whether it's me or just what a human is. And there was a plane where it's light on the top half and dark on the bottom half, and below the horizon, lying in the darkness, was me or humans or whatever. And to live one good day meant to stand up through that darkness and walk in the light. Whether you be, I'm not sure if I was made of the darkness and that you drag that into the light, or if you begin as something else and you just pass through the stuff. What's so hard about all this is that coming to terms with how simple the answers are, yet how much context and understanding and experience it takes to wrap your head around it, to comprehend it, to be wise enough to be utterly flattened and awestruck over the beautiful simplicity of it all. I guess that's another one of them paradoxes, that it's all so very simple and it's all so very complex. Here we are, smack dab in the middle of it. Remember, you're a sovereign individual. Do what thou wilt.